Hello, Century 21 affiliated, Dan Kruse, your CEO here, and wanted to give you a June market update. I know it's been a couple months since we've given a market update, but wanted to give you an idea of what's going on in the marketplace right now across our footprint and what we've seen across the United States. Certainly it has been a steady market, but probably the best way to state it is it's been a weird market. We are still seeing a significant amount of demand and low inventory, even despite kind of the economic turmoil that we're facing right now. Rates continue to be on the rise. We just saw another major rate hike that took place over the last week or so. We know that inflation has continued to be one of the big talks that's out there, and we're facing simple things like major moves in gas pricing that's affecting behavior from our sellers and our buyers out there. That said, we still are seeing a pretty steady marketplace that's taking place overall. There is no doubt in my mind we are living right now in a changing environment when it comes to real estate. And I know that there's some of you within the organization that has never lived through anything but a upward cycle when it comes to real estate, because we've had one really for the last 7 or 8 years. As we see this marketplace starting to pan out a little bit, a couple things I want you guys to all think about. One, I do not believe whatsoever we're going to see a crash, certainly like we saw back in 2007, 2008. One, there is way too much equity that we're seeing in homes still yet today. We certainly could not continue to sustain a 25-35% annualized increase in median sales price, and leveling somewhere out in a 5 to 7% annualized range is actually a normal market and probably something that's really healthy. Two, there still continues to be a really strong demand for buyers out there. So even as rates continue to plug up a little bit, maybe it has sidelined some people, but overall there's still a very high demand that we're seeing out of buyers that are out there. In this changing environment, there's some things we got to start thinking about as well. One, we're going to see probably more time on the market. So yes, there's still a demand, but putting a house on the market and a day later, hours later, getting 20-30 offers at 20% over asking, we're starting to see that fade away a little bit. And once again, I think that's a healthy balance that we're starting to see in the marketplace. We're starting to see accepted offers with actual financing contingencies, something we haven't seen for a little bit of time. We also know that we're going to have to start having conversations with our sellers when it comes to price reductions. This may be areas that some of you have never even faced when dealing with some of the listing inventory that we have out there. But as we try to figure out this changing marketplaces, these are all real conversations you need to be aware of and be ready to have with your clients and customers, whether that's you representing a buyer looking for properties or representing your seller with a listing that's out there. Quite frankly, I know some people see the headlines, and we have seen movement out of some of our competition where we've already seen companies laying off 10% of their overall workforce and concerns about where this marketplace is going. Personally, professionally, I think it's actually a really good place for us inside the industry. Anytime you see a change or a shift in the marketplace, I think there's opportunity. I often think as well that as we see a shift take place and there's uncertainty, people go to companies that they know, they go to trusted advisors that they can believe in, and that's where their strengths really move towards. And as an organization, that's something we've believed in for the last 30 years and something that we know we train and educate our agents on to help move the organization forward. So in this changing environment that we're in, I think it's actually going to weed out some of the agents and organizations that haven't lived through this, that may struggle with this change. And I think organizations like ours and names like Century 21 affiliated are going to really become champions over this period of time. Last thing I'll leave you with when it comes to the market change that we're starting to face right now is I don't think it's going to last forever. We're now in June of 2022. I think we're going to see some of this shift in turmoil maybe for the next 12 months or so, maybe not even, maybe the next 6 months. And then I think you're going to see another big surge take place in the industry. So my best advice is making sure that you sharpen your toolbox and the skills that you have out there. Make sure you're having open communication with your clients, especially your sellers that are out there when it comes to having a little more time in the marketplace, and making sure that you as agents get educated, whether that's talking to other agents in the office, working with your team leaders, working with the L&D department, to make sure you're armed with the right tools to affect this particular marketplace that we're in. Overall, we're going to be just fine. I think the industry is going to play out just fine. And I think as an organization, we're going to come out on top of all this. I also always love to share with you guys some market stats, and that kind of plays into some of the stuff that I'm talking about just now. The numbers I have right now are through April. We haven't seen the May numbers be published as we're just now in the beginning of June. But these are numbers that I've got for the state of Wisconsin through April this year versus last year. So year-to-date numbers versus last year. Sales down 7.3%. However, median sales price up 11.1%. The Michigan Association of Realtors, state of Michigan, down 9.45% in sales, but up 10.14% in median sales price. And then overall, the National Association of Realtors, the entire country, through April of this year versus last year, sales down 5.9%. However, median sales price up that 14.8%. So same trend line. We're seeing units down, sales overall down, but that median sales price still being on the climb there. As an organization, Century 21 affiliated, all of you guys, same time frame, April of this year through last year, 2022 versus 21. Century 21 affiliated, our sales are actually up about 4%. Year over year, and then our median sales price up about 9%. So certainly outperforming the states we do business in and outperforming the national averages when it comes to transactional sales taking place. I have our May numbers. I didn't have the other states, but our May numbers are very similar. We're actually up about 4%, 5% in sales, up about 9 or 10% in gross commissions. We're up about 8% in our median sales price through May of this year compared to last year. So congratulations, guys. All of you are outperforming the markets that we are in, both locally and the national averages that are taking place. As we round into June, we saw a slight surge start to take place. We tend to see that in the seasonality. Kids got out of school. We're starting to see some more momentum take place. I really, truly believe that we're going to have a pretty good selling season throughout June, July, and August. But don't get me wrong. We need to be prepared for this market shift. Think about the things I talked about when it comes to sharpening your tool set, making sure that you're armed with the right data so when you're talking to your clients and customers, you can handle those situations best as possible. If you need help, please let your team leader know, let our L&D department know, reach out to me personally. I hope everybody has a wonderful summer. I hope you're enjoying it so far and look forward to a really strong selling season over the next 90 days. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.